change and becoming an entrepreneur versus being an employee. And we recruit from all backgrounds, but I'm candid and I'm passionate about the entrepreneurial opportunity, because if anything taught us, last year taught us anything with the pandemic, controlling your own career, having your own small business opportunity is something that everyone should at least consider. That's what my goal is today, is to kind of share a little bit about what it is that I do. Now, you'll see when the presentation goes on, very passionate about what it is that I do. I tell people I have the second best opportunity out there, which is recruiting agents and entrepreneurs, but the best one is actually being an entrepreneur. I was in the pool myself to run my own State Farm agency. The only reason I did not move forward is because my lovely wife has been a State Farm agent now for 15 years. In February of 2017, she became one out of 19,000 State Farm agents, she became one out of 300 or less to actually open up a second State Farm office. So that's how much our family believes in the opportunity. I was gonna have my own, but when she opened up a second office, we said 2 in the family is more than enough. So I am very passionate about this opportunity. I look forward to being able to share some details and information with you about it. One thing I'll share before, or something else I'll share before I turn it over to Curtis, is to make you aware that this is the best kept secret that's out there. My wife is very passionate about the community. She's a Delta. She is a Link. She is also in leadership with the FAMU Alumni Association. Giving back to the community is something that's very important to her and to our family. She has been featured in a number of different publications and has spoken at a number of events. She's actually spoken at Essence Festival twice. She's been at the Black Entertainment Women of Power Summit, where she's been a speaker on stage. She's actually spoken on the Steve Harvey Morning Show multiple times. And I share all that with you just to let you know that this is a wonderful opportunity. And even though she had no prior sales experience, she's a tough cookie. She has entrepreneurial spirit and she had transferable skills. So there are people that are going to be out there that are going to think about this opportunity and say to themselves, hey, I've never run a business, or I don't know much about insurance, or I don't know about investment planning. That's not as important as having that passion and desire to help people, as well as that entrepreneurial spirit, but more importantly, transferable skills. So Curtis, if you don't mind, go ahead and unmute yourself and tell everybody a little bit about your experience with State Farm.
Sure, Shawn, thank you. And to the Chamber of Commerce, appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Really do, and you'll find out in a moment about that. Been with State Farm for 30 years, so they can't get rid of us apparently, Shawn. It's been a little while. Shawn and I both grew up in the Midwest area. My wife also had worked for State Farm for a period of time. I really enjoy working for the company. It's a very good company to work for. Our mission to help people be more self-reliant financially and help them find financial independence through, quite frankly, protecting them from things that can go wrong is a lot of fun. I didn't know that insurance could actually be exciting and fun. And if I can't convince you of that, I certainly understand. But we do enjoy that deeper passion of what we do. Shawn, if I can, I'd kind of like to go into and share, Tracy, as well, why I'm here today. I'm really here today because some good people have given me an opportunity to be here. So I'm actually very grateful for that. Tell you a quick story. Since I've been with State Farm, since Jesus was young 30 years ago, I had an opportunity to spend some time working in different parts of the country. And the time that really helped teach me an awful lot was before I came to Florida, when I worked on the south side of Chicago for about 5 years. And I worked with a very senior individual who had been with the organization, who really began to, quite frankly, teach me about diversity and help me understand. I worked and lived in communities where I didn't really have that opportunity before working with Dan. Great gentleman. In fact, many eons ago, he worked with State Farm in South Florida. So funny how the connections in the world is small. But long story short, if you guys are familiar at all with the geography of the south side of Chicago, I worked all the way from South Bend in Indiana on one side to Hinsdale over on the west side, all the way south. Spent a lot of time working in a place called Gary, Indiana, and lived there for a few years. And one of the things that I did in working with Dan and got trained on is I learned how we could really create diversity in communities that historically had not done that before. We are very proud of an accomplishment that our first African-American agent was able to start and have a successful career now 20 years later, south of State Road 30, which might not mean much to you here, but that means an awful lot to you if you're from there and you know where Crown Point is at. Also, conversely, we also placed the first Anglo agent in Gary, Indiana in about a 40-year time period. And so I learned from that gentleman the importance of really reflecting the community, really respecting the community, really being a part of what we needed to do. So we fast forward, I moved down here in 2005, and through a sort of events began taking on more leadership roles here to where now I work with pretty much all of Palm Beach County. Have been spending a lot of time quietly working on changing the diversity inside our State Farm agent makeup in the county. Have had a great deal of success in the area of gender and specifically helping women become business owners with State Farm agents. Have also done quite a bit in the Spanish speaking community at all. But guys, the reality is here we sit 15 years later and have made absolutely no progress in the African American community, quite frankly. We had two wonderful gentlemen who've been representing State Farm for a long time. Sadly, the community lost War Caesar Jakes here very recently, and Juan Williams is our other representative for State Farm in the area. I am not proud to tell you that both of those two fine gentlemen grew up eating dinner at the same table. So when Shawn tells you that State Farm does a really good job of keeping this incredible opportunity a secret, I think we have way overachieved in that area. I have been working, Shawn knows this, for about the past 4 years, heavily focused on changing that demographic, specifically in my small world of Palm Beach, and helping to recruit and create successful careers for African-American agents in Palm Beach County. The reality is this: I have 10 years left before I retire. If the good Lord allows me to stay with State Farm and work until I'm 62, I will be done. I have a very short period of time to completely change that dynamic in Palm Beach. My desire and my passion to do that has nothing to do with current events that have happened in the past 15 months, but it's very fascinating to see that those events have coincided with the opportunity to speak with you today. I really have a great passion to make a change. I don't even have a great motivation or a need to make that change, and that's really a sad fact to have to say. This is really personal. The company supports it. I have found few supporters that support it as well. I've also found a few detractors. But I think the real message for today is, oh, sorry about that. Got you muted on accident. The real fact is, I said I have a few supporters. I have a few folks who are detractors. But the real issue is, and what I've had to learn, quite frankly, is I have a whole lot of people that have no idea that this is what I'm trying to do. So our conversation today is really this, in a very simple point, is to get the message out, to look for people who will help us hire multiple State Farm agents who are African American, who aren't going to be placed in Riviera Beach. They're going to be placed in Delray. They're going to be placed in Jupiter. They're going to be placed in Wellington. They're going to be placed in taking a thing and turning it into not a thing, because we've done that work. I'm not looking for medals. I'm not looking for promotions. You can tell by my beard, I'm a little bit past that point. Okay, I'm looking to do something, and I'm not looking for credit. I'm just looking to walk away when it's done at the end. It's been taken care of. And I found out that I'm not doing a very good job doing it myself, and I need some help. And so Shawn, and Tracy, that's the biggest reason why I'm here today. And we'll be happy to have anybody ask any questions on what we're doing, how they can help, what our intent is. I'd love to be challenged on this. And if you would, at the end, I've got a couple asks that I would like to share if folks are willing to throw in with us on things that they can do to help us accomplish this goal. So Tracy and Shawn, I'll kick it back to you for a moment.
Okay, Curtis, I'll jump in for a second here, and thank you for sharing the comments that this is not something that, you know, some kind of initiative or a thing. This is something that's personal to you, because I consider it the same thing. Being a Black man in this country and having tried to recruit, I have friends, I have family, I have a very expansive group of extremely talented individuals who I've been trying to recruit myself. And it's been tough. The African American community simply has not gravitated toward this industry and then toward this opportunity. And so us being able to have a chance to share and enlighten the Black Chamber of Palm Beach County is going to be key to us getting the word out, but more importantly, helping us identify and figure out what are some of the things we could change? What are some of the things that we can do differently? What are some of the things that we need to know in order to counteract any concerns that people may have? And I'm being very candid, within my fraternity. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I'm a member of Antioch Missionary Baptist Church. I'm the president of National Sales Network. It doesn't matter where I go. I've volunteered for 100 Black Men. I've done a lot of different things, and everywhere I go, it's still the same thing exists within our community. Oftentimes, there's a little bit of a lack of knowledge. There's also some concerns about trust within the industry itself. And I'm here to break those things down. Please feel free to ask us questions, because if there are ghost stories and Bigfoot sightings out there about the insurance industry that we can get rid of, please bring them to our attention, simply because we understand and know that this is one of the best kept secrets out there. I'm personally living and reaping the benefits of the hard work of a State Farm agent. Don't get me wrong, I love my job and what I'm doing as well. But my wife's experience as a State Farm agent has benefited us tremendously, both financially for our future, as far as preparing for our children and things of that nature, preparing us for retirement, but also the involvement we have in the community. So we're going to go ahead and open up the floor now. And Tracy, if there's specific questions that you have, or if anyone else has specific questions they'd like to ask, please don't hesitate to go ahead and ask them. I can outline briefly about the steps and things, but the most important thing is transferable skills and experiences. Previous experience is not required, simply because we have an absolutely awesome training program. And if you name a State Farm agent, we've had, if you name an occupation, we've had a State Farm agent that's done it prior to. Police officers, doctors, attorneys, educators, principals, politicians, athlete, military, you name an occupation, we've had someone that's done it. I even know a gentleman that used to be a mortician before he became a State Farm agent. So I'll pause there, and Tracy, see if you have any specific questions, or were there questions that were gathered with the chamber prior to that we can go ahead and address.
Awesome. So anybody that's on this call at this time, this is the time you can raise your hand, or you can just ask any questions that you may have now at this time.
Yes, sir. I see Bruce's hands up.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, Shawn and Curtis, thank you for taking the time. Just a little bit of background. You guys were kind of referred to me in conjunction with your foundation. And I think we forged into a nice dialogue that resulted in this first Zoom call. And I hope that you consider becoming members of the Black Chamber of Commerce and forge forward with a partnership. My first question is that you mentioned earlier, Shawn, that you had your first Black agency owner, or whatever, how you refer to it. Do you know who that is, who that person was?
Are you referring to Curtis, maybe in Indiana?
I don't know. I don't know who it was. I mean, but you mentioned that, some 20 years ago, you had your first African-American.
Oh, I'm sorry. That may have been Curtis. Yes, go ahead.
That was in the Chicago area, particularly along the Indiana line. There's a highway that rolls through there, US 30. It's just south of Gary, Indiana. And the first agent, his name is Ernest Walker III. And actually, Ernest Walker III has become, interestingly enough, and how career paths go, he is currently an agent in the Temple Terrace area in Florida now. He did a stint in leadership in both Michigan and in here. So he's been with the company for a little over 20 years.
Awesome. And then my second question, I think, is more germane to what we're talking about in terms of the opportunity. Would you guys consider agency ownership as a franchise per se, or what is that? What is the correct term to use if someone becomes an agency owner and a part of the network of State Farm? Is it a franchise? Is it something else? Please explain.
That's a really good question. Shawn, if I may, if it's okay. The architecture of it is that you are a self-employed contractor who signs an exclusive contract with State Farm, and you are compensated for the sale and service of the products of State Farm. There's actually a financial agreement that would sound an awful lot like creating a retirement for you, It's a 20-year payment into based on the size of your agency, and then State Farm retains the ownership of the actual policyholders themselves. And that makes it a little bit different and unique than a franchise or than an independent agency. For example, the architecture is just a little bit different.
Thank you for that distinction. I think that's going to be helpful to those who are on the call today. Thanks.
Yes, I agree. Any other questions, you guys?
Tracy?
Yes.
Yeah, this is not a question. I was just wanting to say hello to my friend
Okay.
who is part of this wonderful fraternity.
Oh, okay. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing
Nice to
good,
meet
my
you.
brother. Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
have to have a
representing.
talk when this conversation is over.
Yes, sir. You can see I'm representing a little bit. I'm
Yes,
representing.
sir. Yes, sir. You just don't know. I've been staring at that pen for the longest here. I just couldn't get it right focused. But once you
Right.
get it knowledgeable, then truly appreciate. So we'll
Yes, sir.
have to work. All right.
Yes, sir.
What,
Look forward to getting to know you better.
Yes, yes. Stay out of this, Bruce. This is man's conversation.
Good morning. This is David Dustin. I have a quick question. So I understand, obviously, if someone comes on with you for State Farm, they are exclusive to State Farm from the property and casualty side. But do you allow, I guess, owners or agency operators to work in any other areas such as healthcare, or health insurance?
Right. They would be excluded. So that exclusive contract would not allow somebody, for example, to also be a health insurance agent at the same time for one of our large health insurance providers. They would be able to operate on a limited number of health products that State Farm has, mostly supplemental and the disability and the indemnity area, if you're used to that area, right, on that side. But no, other than that, they are exclusive.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I want to ask some questions since people are a little quiet. I want to ask questions. What is it that we're missing? Because, again, I've been trying to recruit in the African-American community across the country for a really long time. If you were us, what would be some things that you would do in order to expose the African-American community in Palm Beach County to this opportunity for them to make an informed decision? Does anyone have any suggestions or recommendations of what you would do if you were in our roles?
I can start that out if I could, Shawn. So you've taken the first step. We've had a initial conversation, both you and I and Curtis, about how to approach penetrating this market. That's one thing. So the first step is done. I can't express any more the importance of becoming a partner with the Black Chamber. And since your fraternity brother is our membership chair, I'm sure he's going to take the lead on that. So we can leave him to that. But beyond that, I think there's a series of things that you can provide from an educational standpoint so that people understand a little bit more about what the offerings are. And, much like the space that I'm in, I'm a small business advocate. I don't really do a whole lot of promotion on franchises or independent contracting for large corporations. So this is quite a unique opportunity for you guys to have an opportunity to differentiate those different small business types of offerings that you have outside of the norm, which is a person having a desire to start its own business or enter into the franchise space and embark upon a franchise. This is a little different and in another industry. So I think that's the challenge. And I think we need to probably figure out a way to help you penetrate and spread the word and educate people about the unique opportunity that you have. So we're really kind of taking the first step in this particular forum on the Zoom on our Wednesday Wisdom. And if anybody else from the chamber or anybody else has any other ideas, by all means, speak up.
Well said, Bruce.
This is David again. I've thought about this idea a lot myself because I'm kind of the reason I asked that question about being able to represent other health carriers is I've been in the business myself for the last 10 years on the health side. And I've often thought about, how do we get more African-American youth to see this as a viable career option? And I think, because there are so few of us out there that own agencies or that, they think of insurance and think of it as a career, really just needs to start in the middle school and high school level, and also maybe create internships where they can work with an agency, see kind of behind the scenes and understand. Because I think if it's like anything with a kid, it's all about the bling or the money. And if they could see a few of those residual checks come in and have someone explain to this is for a policy I sold 5 years ago, but I'm still making money on it, it would spur that interest more in getting them, to look at it further. And I'd like to throw myself out as a resource for you guys because I'm a retired Marine Corps officer. And I think there would be a lot of value to have you guys interact with the National Naval Officers Association, which I'm a member of. And what we do is promote diversity for the sea services. And, I think about the guys that get out after 4, 6, 10 years. There's a tremendous opportunity for those guys to set themselves up for the future.
It's funny you mentioned we just had a chief that started up in Stewart about 9 months ago.
Great.
That you bring up a very good point about the internship too. We actually have a program called the Aspirant Program. It's set and for those that may be interested in learning more about the career, where they agree, an existing State Farm agent agrees to hire, mentor, develop, and train them to eventually go out and run their own State Farm agency with a minimum 18-month commitment for them to work in the agent's office. So we do have systems in place that we're trying to implement to be able to help. But again, the industry itself, not a lot of people gravitate toward it because it's not very glamorous and they don't think of it that way. But there are so many things that are beneficial. You talked about residual income, and I apologize for not having my statistics here in front of me, but I had the numbers for 2019. The average gross income we hired 174 agents in 2019, and the average gross income was, I think, $256,000. The large majority of those people made between $200,000 and $300,000, but our top earner that year made $462,000 in their very first year. And so this is a lucrative opportunity. In addition to it being residual, think about that concept. Legally, everyone has to have insurance for their homes and their cars legally. Therefore, that residual piece is something that's really highly underutilized and not very well known. So looking forward to being able to share those things. And our process, again, when you talk to and identify some people that you think may have the potential, please just make sure that they understand and know that they don't have to make decisions right away. It's a matter of us, whether it's myself or Curtis, having a conversation. And fortunately, with Curtis being the decision maker, his job title is sales leader, but in layman's terms, he's the hiring manager for all of that area. He's the person that they're definitely going to want to speak to. But more importantly, it's just a conversation to see if their interests align with what we have to offer, because there are a lot of people who aren't aware and don't understand that their experiences are transferable. So we'd appreciate any support that you could give when it comes to communicating and helping us figure out what we need to do, as well as opportunities we can take advantage of to network and continue the partnership with the Chamber. Anything else to add there, Curtis? Or yes, go ahead, Bruce, go ahead.
Is there an educational requirement, an educational level requirement for someone to, get involved with at all?
Bruce, this is Curtis. I recently had to research that. You would be surprised for the opportunity economically and quite frankly for the importance of the work that's done. There actually is not an educational requirement. We have people with advanced academic degrees who are State Farm agents. We have people who have high school GEDs that are State Farm agents.
I'll share a story. I know a gentleman, this was years ago. He was 24 years old, out of Miami-Dade County. He had his own auto detail and accessory business, and with no college degree. He went through our process. He was approved and started competing and became an agent in Las Vegas. And he has now been an agent in Las Vegas now for about 13 years and is actually one of those less than 300 that actually has 2 State Farm offices. No college degree. And at the time, he was 24 years old when he was hired.
Wow. Wow. All good stuff. All good stuff. Well, I'm proud to say I've been here in Florida for 20 years, and Juan Williams has always been my agent. That's loyalty. Even when you want to give up, that's loyalty, right?
Hey, we are grateful, and I know Juan is super grateful. I'll make sure I say something, Tracy.
Yes, that's my brother. Yes, yes, yes. So this has been great. So anybody else has any questions before we close out our Q&A? No? Okay, going once, going twice. Sold. Okay, next in the program, we're just going to announce our newest members. We do have some amazing members that are on here as well. And I just wanted to thank you all again for joining today. Our newest members for the month of May, we have Class G Drone LLC. They're on the website if you want to check them out and to see what their business is all about, as well as Trending Changes Trucking. Those are our newest members for the month of May. If you guys are interested in membership, you're on this call and not a member, please definitely contact us. You can always call the office. You can visit the website at blackchamberpbc.com. Up under application membership benefits. We're here for you. We got amazing stuff that's happening. This is the right time. I'm so excited. It's an amazing presentation. Thank you guys for that. So needed at this time. Community is where it's at. I know that there's a lot that's going on as far as us opening up and a lot of live events. So I hope to see you guys at some of these community engaged, at some of these community events that's taking place, especially in the month of June. And then we have a lot that's going on in the month of August for Black Business Month. So that's opportunity right there as well. So I'm going to bring up our president for closing remarks, Grassford Smith.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. And thank you, Shawn and Curtis, for your presentation. We spoke probably about 2 months ago, I believe. And I'm happy to see that you've joined us. I'm wondering why I went to law school. I need to get some of these residual checks that I'm hearing about. So, but we are grateful for the partnership. And one thing I know in terms of your question, Shawn, is when people see you one time, that's something. But when they see you all the time, I think they start to build that trust. And I think you begin to make inroads, I think, more effectively. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all at future events, particularly as we transition to doing things in person, which we are already speaking about, looking for those opportunities. And I'm glad that our membership share, Frank Hayden, had an opportunity to speak. And Tracy, you talked about a lot of the exciting benefits that we're offering. So please contact Tracy. We're definitely continually looking at ways to serve our members. And we've been, in my view, on a rocket ship this year in terms of how we've been serving our members and advocating on behalf of our members. So we're a little early, but we're going to give you your afternoon back. Thanks again, Shawn and Curtis. Look forward to talking with you again, and appreciate you sponsoring this event. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone. Have a good day.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
So Tracy, you have their information?
I do, and I dropped it in the chat.
All right. Thank you very much. I got to catch up with my frat brother, so.
Yes, sir.
All right. Talk with y'all.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye,
Sure.
PJ.
Bye.
Bruce.
So Tracy, is there anything else that you may need from Curtis and myself as we get ready to take advantage of the opportunity we just had here?
Absolutely, absolutely. If there's any type of literature that you guys want to share with the membership, make sure to get that over to me at the info@blackchamberpbc email address. And at the same
Is that the
time,
email address that you sent with the invitation?
yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can send any type of correspondence or communications that you have via email. I'll be able to share that with the membership, as well as any other opportunities. As far as community, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's taking place as far as you just getting your name and being out there in the community at these various festivals and events, to be, you know, a vendor, to be present. You know, that is amazing as far as just the response that I'm getting, as far as the organized events that I'm doing personally in West Palm Beach. People are ready to come back. They're ready to get out. They're ready to socialize. And this is good opportunity and exposure for State Farm and recruiting opportunities.
Okay. Have you had a mandate, or has the organization decided exactly when they plan to engage in person, or are they waiting for something to make that decision?
Everything is in the planning stages.
Yeah.
Planning
Yes.
stages. So we could talk offline, because I did record this, and as well, we're streaming live on YouTube. So
Okay.
you guys, great job. Thank you so very much. We appreciate your support and sponsorship.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.